Hey people, that was K Camp 100. Make them count your money, baby. We're back.
Just bought a Cadillac.
We're back for senior seminar. And two of my articles really belong in Wretched Royal next week. But they were going to be cold by the end. So I had to give them to you. This week, I try to keep this like current events, real good actual news. Just didn't turn out. And I know it was a slow news week, because what was I watching this morning? I was watching, like, I ain't gonna say what channel it was, but I think they was talking about how you shouldn't give your little children shellac nail polish. I said, oh, ain't nothing happening for y'all to be talking about that.
Why were they talking about that?
Because apparently, like, there's this epidemic of Chinese nail techs that are convincing people that their young children should get shellac nail polish because it doesn't chip, although shellac is toxic.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised they have that.
Wow.
I was like, oh, ain't nothing going on in the news. Y'all just pulled that one out the closet. Like, what can we run that'll go good at any day?
Wow.
But mine's was Sierra lost the custody battle for her son with Future. Now, when they say lost the custody battle, they made it seem as if he was
took
going
her
to have
baby
full
or
custody.
Yeah, that's what it's crazy.
Oh,
And
boy.
I'm like, stop with that clickbait. Y'all had me nervous. I said, Sierra, what happened? You got a good man. He talk about perp every third song. How they give him full custody?
Exactly.
That's not what happened, y'all. She was going out for full custody herself, and they denied it to her. So they have to have joint custody. That's what happened. So although she lost, she ain't lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to make it racial.
You feel some type of way?
I don't want to make it racial.
Okay.
But
But
I just feel like this is another instance where they trying to keep the black woman down. Like, they don't want her to get her child support, so they have to share custody. Is that what it is? Because, like, come on, the man talks about perp, codeine. Like, how easy of a case was that to try?
I don't see.
And
Go ahead.
And the only caveat was like, okay, because Usher won.
Mm-hmm.
Housewife of Atlanta, her husband won.
Mm-hmm.
Now Future has won. And I'm like, this starting to become a trend. But the children were boys.
Ludacris won too. And his daughter's a girl.
So I'm like, is this the legal system trying to stick it to it?
Wow. That's interesting because I currently know a law student who is writing a book about high-profile custody cases. And the premise of it is behind men specifically who have the money to be able to go into this with all their resources to bring these things to these conclusions that we're speaking of.
Oh.
And
So they funding some elections, huh?
Well, I don't know about
Probably.
elections, but they have enough resources and enough money versus the mother in this to get some favor or preference for whatever reason.
And that's what they brought out in the Ludacris case where, you know, this mother, she was a good mother or whatever. She took care of the child.
Oh.
She was a custodial parent. And then when she brought up child support, that's when Ludacris was like, well, I'm not paying, so I'm going for full custody.
Right.
And so they were like, well, because he had money and she didn't, that's exactly why. That's the only reason why he got full custody.
And I think that
This is not the first time with him either.
Right. This is
This
a
is second
couple
time.
times.
Ludacris got, like, well, the one thing I was trying to say, I think at the time, she was saying how it wasn't fair because he had all that media coverage and he was able to blast her character in a way she couldn't retaliate to him.
Right.
And Ludacris, that was awfully, I don't know the story.
I think
and
that
I shouldn't
was
be talking
shady.
under, but that's awfully petty of you because
Yeah.
Kevin Hart talk about how Ludacris make ridiculous financial like conquest all the time. Like, let's go buy an island together. Let's buy a yacht together. And you can't get that woman some child support to take care of your child. You'd rather take it and have your girlfriend raise it.
But and I think that's what it was. Because the other flip side of this child support thing is where who was that? Who's the guy, the basketball player that played on the Magic? I forgot his name.
Chocolate Shoulders.
Yes, Chocolate Shoulders. Chocolate Shoulders had the same kind of thing
With the Royce, with her name Royce Reed.
Yeah, and so basically she
okay.
had all this child support, and so he was like, "Why am I paying child support basically to fund her lifestyle?"
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
Right. Okay. Yes. And so
I was like, it's something with a D, ain't it?
yeah. And so that's what the thing is with, I guess, with Ludacris is that if he gonna pay child support, he wants to make sure it goes fully to the child and not to the woman taking care of the child. But I'm like,
I don't know. I just think everybody just need to stop.
Yes.
They just need to stop. Everybody get your checklist out.
right.
And we wouldn't have these situations.
Exactly.
You need to do your prep work
Yeah,
better.
you do your prep work better, and then if this is the outcome and this is the result, then you all should be able to squash it and do what you need to do.
Exactly.
Because this is ridiculous.
It is. It's like
I just feel like it's an attack. Like, oh, we're sick of these particular women going after babies for child support. We're going to put it into this. I would just like to see the statistics on interracial relationships and how often they lose their custody battles. That's all.
Oh. Well, you're not gonna. Well, that's interesting that you would say that interracial relationships, because if you're talking women who are women not of color, I think that they treat the situation very differently than women of color.
right.
I just want to see
So
who
they're
they
it's
deny
not
they
going to
checks
have
and who they
problems.
give them
It depends on who is who in the relationship. If the person of color is the man or the woman, and vice versa.
to. Let's just see the numbers. I'm not racially biased. Just I'm an economics major. Show the numbers. That's all.
But I just think it's wrong because most guys think that it should only be going to the child, but they're not taking into consideration everything the mother is doing trying to raise your child. Like,
And it's that whole lifestyle thing.
Right.
You set up a certain lifestyle. You have to maintain.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, you may be giving her the money, but maybe she can't work the 2 jobs she needs to work because she's taking care of the child or, doing whatever.
She has a celebrity child. She can't drop it off at no
Ex-
regular daycare
daycare.
and go to a regular job because everybody at the job know who she is and know who the baby is.
And if the flip side is, if she did and something occurred, then now you have that over her head.
Right.
You should have did better. You should have picked another school. You should have
Right.
did X, Y, and Z. So it's a catch-22 in that.
I was watching this next story is from Auntie Wendy, Auntie in my head. She was talking about how Chris Brown got kicked off the plane
Did he get kicked off the
for
plane?
apparently hotboxing it.
How do you hot dogs on
What
the
is
plane,
that?
sir?
What does that mean?
Why?
I don't understand.
Well,
Okay,
of all,
somebody has to explain that
I had to
me.
Google
know
it
what
because
that
I don't
means.
know what that is either.
I don't either.
But you got kicked off the plane?
I don't know about those shenanigans.
But you got
Those
kicked
both
off
times.
the plane?
He landed it early, saying you and your crew got to go.
Hotboxing is, according to Google,
Yeah.
hotboxing is where you are partaking in paraphernalia of the herbal variety.
On the plane?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And you go into a bathroom or a small room. Normally it's a bathroom. Basically like the Native Americans did in the tents or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had the steam and all the
Yeah.
heat. And then they
Peace pipe.
past the peace pipe. That is hotboxing.
So you go into the bathroom on the plane while the plane is going
I don't
in.
know how he did that.
She said he didn't. Well, Auntie Wendy said he allegedly he did not go into the bathroom. He hotboxed the whole plane, and her suggestion was, "Hey, take it back to college, wet that towel, screech
Put it
that
on the
dough,
dough.
and flush that toilet and let the air go out underneath the plane." But he didn't take that route.
I got an even better idea.
Don't smoke.
No, that's probably even a better idea than mine. Buy your own plane.
That's what I
Oh,
was
yeah,
going. Then
he
you can
did.
hotbox all the live long
Okay.
day.
True.
Till
But then
day
the
is
pilot gonna be
wrong.
all messed up.
That wasn't the best part of the story, ladies and gentlemen. I would encourage you to go look at the Instagram posting that Mr. Chris Brown put up after getting kicked off the plane. Apparently, he made it to exactly where he needed to be on time because they booked another private jet after they got dropped off.
Just
Why didn't you do that in the beginning?
But maybe he thought they were going to be a lot more friendly than they were.
Oh
Can
my
he get a new
gosh.
publicity person? Because it's just like
We ain't heard about him though. Like even though stuff
This is a
happened,
violation of his probation.
It's like we
End
need
of
to
story.
be here. Everything that we hear about from Chris Brown, he need to be going to go to some children in the hospital.
Something.
He need to be going and cleaning up a park. I don't need to be hearing of him allegedly.
I'm like desensitized to him doing stuff at this point.
I'm not. I'm all
It's
over
just
it.
like
Velcro.
why we still talk about it? He always doing
Probation
something.
violation
Right.
jail. Probation violation jail.
She want him in jail.
Listen, at some point in time, like we've been talking about, you need to stop the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to stop. Now you somebody's daddy now.
Right.
Now really?
You see the aggression in her voice?
Yes.
She's so serious.
Somebody,
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this.
a dad of a little girl at that, and that has more implications than if you were a father. If he were a father, well, I guess not, but still.
What I would say is, don't be mad, Mr. Brown. When she get
Exactly.
older, don't be mad.
You know what they say when men
That's
have daughters,
right. They
it
pick
is-
their fathers.
Yeah, and it's a reason why you
Oh.
have it's payback for the stuff
I
that
didn't
you've
know.
done.
Don't be mad, Mr. Brown.
So yeah, it's payback.
Well, the part that Auntie Wendy pulled out is that he made the video and he looked as if he had like a little tick when he was talking. Like, we don't get kicked off planes because we do that. And it was
Oh
a
my
little.
gosh.
I said,
Oh my God.
but he was diagnosed with some type of. I'm gonna leave you alone, Chris, okay? Because I can't. You too tall for me to be fighting. So I'm
I
gonna move
don't
right
think
on.
Chris.
I'm not gonna fight him.
Right. Chris just
CCW.
exactly. Chris just needs to. I don't know. He needs
He don't
somebody.
need nothing because we just let him get away with it. So I feel like he's like absolutely fine. He's gonna be
But
all
my
right.
thing, he is. But you can't keep coming on here apologizing and then you still doing the same thing that you apologize for. It's like
That's one of them deal breakers.
Because he ain't
Yeah.
sorry.
To stop, because he never was
Right.
from the jump.
I'm a changed individual. I don't know why everybody paint me as this
And then
evil
I go bust,
person.
and then I go bust out a window.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, bruh, you just really so. Yeah, he just need more people, better people.
So the next one. So we're gonna move right on from the wretched that couldn't wait till next week because it would have been stale, and into some actual current events. I have one, but I watched it on TV last night, and I think it's a good one, and it should bring up a bigger conversation that we need to have in America at this time, in regards to the prison system and education. Diane Sawyer conducts a 7-day long documentary broadcasting
Series?
series
Yes.
Okay.
in Rikers Island.
Oh, Diane Sawyer did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's doing it like it's still happening.
Okay.
The commissioner, which name I didn't write down, is pushing to end solitary confinement for the prisoners that are 18 to 21, which are the most dangerous prisoners because they're most useful,
Yeah.
in their prime.
Yeah.
But their mind is still developing up into the age of 25. So they have shown scientific proof that by being in solitary confinement, their brain develops differently, and there's chemical reactions that happen from being in solitary. They actually made sure you understood that sometimes they leave them in those rooms with the lights off. There's no mattress. It's absolutely brick, toilet, and sink. And they can't see out of the window that the people can see in. So it's like sitting in pitch black for days at a time. At the age of 18 to 21. So the commissioner was pushing for it to be removed because they feel like that's pushing them to a point where they'll never be rehabilitated. But the CEOs and correction officers and jail workers are saying we need this because they are the most hostile of our inmates, so we need to be able to have some punishment for them acting out.
Okay.
And if you remove said punishment, what prevents them from acting out to a higher extent than what they already have? So there was actually a CO who got slashed in the face that was holding a press conference that said, now who thinks we should get rid of this with this going on? And it was a pretty nasty cut. But in the contrary, they said, well, he came out of solitary confinement and that still happened.
Okay.
So is a conversation.
It reminds me, and I don't know if they mention this in the segment or the series or if they're going to, but there was a case, a man, and I'm sad that I can't remember his name, but he was in Rikers, and they said that the majority of the time he was in Rikers, and it was for something minor, and the reason why he was in jail was because he couldn't post bail. He didn't have the means to post bail.
Okay.
And they kept pushing back his trial dates or whatever. So the majority of the time that he was in jail,
It was something like 426 days, and he ain't even do it.
And he was in solitary confinement and
a year.
over a year. And when he got out, he finally got out or whatever. He was finally released because I think they dismissed his case or something like that because the prosecutors were doing something. And he tried
the Eighth Amendment speedy trial. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he tried to reinsert himself into the community, and it just wouldn't work because he was depressed, he was bipolar, and he ended up committing suicide as a result of the time that he was in there.
Seems like a family need to be going for a check.
Wow.
But, I think they said they're going for a settlement, but yeah, it was a big deal.
Probably a bad person. I'm always thinking about money.
The
man is gone.
The correction system is jacked up.
Very jacked up.
You know, and it used to be called corrections and rehabilitation, and there is no rehabilitation. And unfortunately, now you have private jails too that contribute to some of these things. And then you also have people who are in positions of authority who don't have the proper training either.
I just saw a BuzzFeed news clip that said that Baltimore actually just denied $11 million to go to the education system, but financed a $30 million new prison.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, create these little militants if you want to.
I think that we're creating the we're not creating
the next civil war. I think.
we're not creating the proper inputs to people who need corrections and rehabilitation. We're not doing that, because if I were someone in charge, like a warden, or if I was a legislator or whatever, part of the remedies to things that you've done is that you would be corrected and you would be rehabbed, meaning that everything that you didn't want to do, you would be doing. And I equate that to things like, being younger and, not wanting to wash dishes. You didn't wash the dishes. You didn't want to go to school. Okay. So you didn't want to, do X, Y, and Z. You would be doing that all the time. You would be doing all of that all the time. It's just like breaking somebody in.
You're breaking a horse.
Yeah, to get them into a routine where they'll decide to make a different decision. And I don't think that I can't say everybody in the corrections and rehabilitation system are the same, but I think you can get a good probability of people who would just be like, you know what, okay. All right. Because sitting around, walking around, mean mugging each other, figuring out ways to get a piece of glass and make it into a weapon, you got too much time on your hands.
Way too much time.
You got way too much time on your hands.
It
shouldn't. That. Yeah, it shouldn't be. To me, it shouldn't be an option to go to school. It shouldn't be an option. No, you going. Yeah, and as a requirement of your release, if you have one because you're a nonviolent offender or whatever, you gonna take a course, you gonna get a certificate, you gonna be proficient in something. That's the only way you getting out. Oh, you gonna get something. Yeah. So I think we had the wrong inputs because it's just punishment, and punishment can be both positive and negative.
And sometimes, a lot of times, the punishment never necessarily fits the crime. Like, you have nonviolent offenders who may have sold, some kind of drug that's different from some other type of drug.
Right.
And because this drug exists in the inner city, they get 25 years. And this person who sold the same amount in another version of it get a slap on the wrist.
And I mean, and yeah, in terms of programming, you know how I feel about programming.
Yeah.
In terms of programming somebody like that, oh, you gonna learn the stock market. You gonna learn all of it before you leave here. You gonna learn all of it. You gonna get the newspaper and you gonna look at all that small little writing, and you gonna be able to proficiently articulate what all of that means before you leave here. Since you want to do stuff, since you want to be a businessman. I mean, come on.
What does all this money really go towards when you build a prison, whatever?
You just housing and feeding and clothing.
Clothing.
Yep. You just housing, feeding, and clothing people to do minimal work, like make a license plate.
For 10 cents an hour. Huh?
Yeah, because you think that's punishing them.
I don't understand.
I don't know. I guess because I chose a different route, I'm not invested enough in that to care what happens to those type of people because I didn't make those type of choices. But I do realize that they're going to be coming back to society. So I would rather either you break them all away or send them away. What happens to penal colonies? Can't we just ship them off to somewhere else?
A long time ago, you used to have a choice. You either went to the military or you went to jail. Yeah. That used to be the choice. And you had a great number of people that went to the military.
Criminals to be better.
Well, it was a different time when people had allegiance. Well, no, when people had allegiance to the country that they live in.
Right.
Now, I don't know what we own. Okay, so you can't very well use that but using that as an alternative to jail may yield you something you really don't want.
And they do have those communities. Well, they had them. Alcatraz, the jail island in the middle. Yeah, where they just shipped them there and they were away from society. Yeah. So to speak. So, yeah.
So supposedly it was
back. I mean, like the penal colonies, like when they were colonizing America.
Like Hunger Games.
Y'all can't come back. Y'all just
you can't come back.
Figure it out over there.
You just figure it out over there?
That's what Australia, that's why they make fun of them.
Is that right?
It's
I didn't know
called the
that.
Down Under because Australia started as a penal colony, so their ancestors were all criminals.
I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't either.
Oh, really?
Like Australia, when they were colonized, or
it was colonized by prisoners. They sent the prisoners over there to establish a civilian city,
a society.
Yeah.
Really?
I always thought it was the British because they didn't colonize everything.
Yeah,
native.
but these particular people that colonized were of the criminal background.
Huh.
Is that right?
I gotta go research.
Me too.
And the last fact from that is 80% of them will return back to civilian life. So.
And 90% will
go back.
Be a recidivism rate.
Yeah.
A 90% probably.
Oh, and I had this quote. I don't know if it was from me or from somebody else. It was from me because I put I. Well, I believe there's probably nothing more dangerous than someone who feels alone, surrounded by people. So yeah.
Okay.
I would rather us have them have some skill or something that engages them to help them, as opposed to them not having any skill or any kind of knowledge to engage them, because then they start thinking in other ways, feeling alone with all these people around them and feeling like I might want to do something to everybody else.
Because they have they already living in the void. They don't have the skills, and then because they have the record, then most people aren't going to hire them anyway, even if they do find some kind of low-skilled work. So, yeah.
That's our hour, and we still got to do book club.
Okay.
So that was the closing of senior seminar, and that's kind of the closing of the show in its normal format. But we hope that you guys stick around for a final episode of book club, where we're going to discuss the 4 agreements, which kind of touches on each topic we talked about today. So for those on Facebook, I'm going to say goodbye because I want to force you to go over YouTube and comment, like, and subscribe for your chance to win a copy of the book by Don Miguel Reyes, The Talktic Lessons. And with that, I'm going to close you. And with this, via the radio, you guys, I'm going to take a quick break and